Shit is fucking straight crazy with this Streamlabs sometimes. I don't know what the deal is. Sometimes it goes astray here. Uh, anyway, so we're going to talk about Al Sharpton. He led I guess he would call it a buy in. He went to a boycott in somewhere, I guess in New York. And he's complaining about the loss of DIE, or DEI, diversion, whatever, equity and inclusion. And so yesterday I was on Sharon Bracey's panel and he was talking about DEI and affirmative action and all this. I don't even know the difference between DEI and affirmative action. But recently, Al Sharpton was talking about affirmative action or DEI, and this is him on I think it's MSNBC. This is before he led his protest here. He's discussing it. We'll take a listen. I have to refresh this here. And of course, it's going to be a little slow. Is it? No. My internet going to be up to speed today? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, let's
to Simone was saying, it's another way of for opponents of DEI to label an other, and that other is getting a hand up, and I'm not. But we talk a lot. We've had to talk a lot about in the show in the last week or so that Donald Trump is fulfilling the promises. He's doing what he said he would, and this is yet again what he said he would. It was night after night. He railed against wokeism, but also DEI on the campaign trail. He made a promise to his voters that he would do that, and that is what a plurality of American voters chose.
Donald Trump raised it, and he said what he was going to do. But I don't think people understand the need of DEI or affirmative action feel. First of all, affirmative action was authored by a black Republican named Arthur Fletcher under Richard Nixon's administration. And it was in no way radical at the time, because what they were trying to do is correct with inclusion the fact that by law, many blacks and others were excluded. So you can't say you want a merit system when we were
So affirmative action, if I get that correctly, was created by a black Republican. So who created DEI? That's what I'm curious to know. And it didn't seem like Sharon Brace or anyone can make a distinction between affirmative action and DEI here.
Excluded from bringing our merit to the table. So you were trying to repair that damage. So when you see corporations now that are saying we'll stop DEI, they're not even defining what.
That's a famous story about Bear Bryant, the old Alabama coach. I'm from Alabama. And I guess he was one of the last coaches to include black players, and the black players went to another team or wherever, and he had to play those black players, and they beat him. So they brought their talents to the table, someone else's table, and that eventually led Bear Bryant to have to integrate his team because the other teams were going to beat him if they had the best black talent and the best white talent.
That is because many of them never had blacks, never had women, never had gays.
That just can't be true. Almost every Fortune 500 company has to have minorities. Even back 20 years ago, I remember working around gay people at Fannie Mae. So for this guy to say these companies had no gays, I just don't believe that.
There. And that's why some of us are saying we need to then not, you don't want diversity, then you shouldn't have diversity in your consumers. We'll boycott it. But we'll support others. We're leading a group. I'm going to Costco tomorrow, bring 100 of my members to shop with those that understand it. Because we need to be able to say to Trump, this is not up to you.
You see, the problem with him is he has to go over and round up his followers to show their economic might. They have no economic might otherwise.
You can't tell us where we spend our money. And Donald Trump, I used to go and meet with Donald Trump, try to argue back and forth different cases. I've never seen diversity in Trump Towers.
And there he is. He's going back and forth arguing with Donald Trump for what? If you've ever seen the movie, if you've ever read the book Bonfire of Vanities, there's a guy in there that's more or less mocking Al Sharpton here. And Al Sharpton, if he went to Donald Trump, he was asking for money. And so he went there with an agitational tone, probably saying, "I'll protest outside your building if you don't give me money. I'll call you a racist," or something like that. This is what these people do. And
show me where his top black executive is. Nobody even got subpoenaed in 4 of his trials.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing that no blacks were subpoenaed in Trump's trials? I think Al Sharpton would much rather have some of the blacks subpoenaed on trial with Donald Trump. They could have been in prison like the other 70-year-old man I think Trump's accountant, his CEO or something. They put him in prison. Did Al Sharpton want the blacks there?
Trials that were black. So for him to be talking about diversity is like me talking about being a rockette next Christmas season.
And yet,
here's a woman sleeping with her co-host, hid it from all of her, probably the managers, production crew, and all she can muster is
Matt,
to what someone was.
That's the end of that one. And so here's Al Sharpton going to Harlem. I'm not sure if this is in Harlem. This is probably in the Bronx, to be honest with you. Yeah, it looked to be maybe, I don't know what it is. We can look this up, see where it is. You're going to hear something very interesting here. These blacks have been doing protests since I was a little boy. I remember there was a protest in my hometown. And they took all the blacks to the grocery store. And they told them to get like ice cream. And when they got to the counter, they wanted to pay in pennies. When the grocery store refused them, they left the ice cream there to melt. And it was kind of a pretty effective grocery store tactic, and it worked very well because the grocery store eventually moved out of my hometown.
Just your pops to me, right?
Oh, my guy, can you put the walkers in the bottom for me? All right, he's gonna get you.
First thing you have to notice is these are mostly older people. Probably don't shop at Costco very often. Costco sells in bulk. And these people clearly would not be buying in bulk. Older people, empty nesters, things like that. They're going to Costco, and we're going to see we're going to see what Al Sharpton.
excuse me, sir, were you giving out cards?
So I say, what they doing? Giving out cards? What kind of cards?
All right, let's go. Last one. Yeah. I know left one. You talking to me?
Yeah, I thought she said she was in the front seat to the left. Yeah, this one right here.
That's where she is. And to the left. Okay. All right.
We didn't have much to eat. My G.
Yeah, right.
We're only going to 150.
This is already fast. Hey. That's nice.
They got to give these people instructions. I wonder, did these people even have Costco memberships? Did you have to buy Costco memberships? All these people, you have to have a membership to enter Costco, and you can't shop on one person's membership. I don't think you can do that. So all of these people presumably were already Costco customers, Costco members. So in that sense, they were existing Costco customers. I don't know what the point of this is. I don't know what Al Sharpton is trying to accomplish. I'll tell you the one thing is that these old school tactics of protesting are not working anymore. And you're going to see more of this.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion in the private sector.
Don't tell my story. Them old people, they not gonna tell though. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
All right, y'all, don't tell my story. We got shot.
They're on your side.
I mean, just imagine the indignity there. That as they walk in the store, mostly older people, presumably they're black. I think the ones that were talking, the employees of Costco, were black. And the first thing she says to these older blacks is, "Don't tear up my store." That's the problem right there that Al Sharpton cannot confront. Then when people see a horde of blacks, either old or young, the first thing that they fear is some form of destruction. And I want you to hear this lady says that this is what, this is the black tax here. Even other blacks, you've heard me demonstrate it right here on the stream. Like, you have to be conscious of blacks destroying things. And the lady just said it just as clear as anyone could say it. And she was black, just like me.
They're on your side.
So he said they're on your side. They weren't on your side. Well, does that mean they probably would tear up the store?
All right, y'all, don't tell my story. We got shot.
They're on your side.
And we were there with you last week.
You gotta make piano lessons. Yes, you got piano lessons.
Karen agitating and provoking this bullshit. Karen taking pictures. We love you. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. And this nigga more fuel to the fire.
And we were there with you last week.
You gotta make piano lessons. Yes, you got piano lessons.
Still wearing masks. You see that motherfucker with the mask on. Look at one mask.
Hey D, go to
Y'all need any assistance?
Well, I'm getting some hamburger meat, some eggs, and some chicken. With the help of Al Sharpton.
There's a cart. When you go in Costco, you need a cart. That shit is in bulk. These people are just playing games.
National Action How you doing? You got any?
All right.
Thank you. Oh, sorry about that.
Are you eating on the job?
Watch it off. Are you eating on the job? You see this shit? They don't correct bad behavior. It's just all a big joke to them.
Are you eating
Are you eating on the job? And she was.
on the job?
They just laugh.
Watch your back, sir. Watch your back.
Carts. What the cart said. They just went in there, motherfucker, walked around. That's all they did. Went in there, walked around, caused a disturbance. Maybe they bought a couple packs of meat.
We left everybody in shopping.
Mask on, another one, a mask on. Look at it, mask. What a mask, man.
Left everybody
Nigga that got a mask on.
in shopping.
mask on. So what was it worth? These people went in there and didn't buy shit. And you know, here I think this is Al again, and he's going to tell you what the plot is right here.
Diversity. We're going to do this because race needs to be dealt with. And for Donald Trump to be able to cancel a commitment they made is an outright affront to the black community, brown community, LGBTQ, gay community, and women that they committed to. So that is why we will stand with those that stand with us. Costco's immediately stepped out.
Where's the LGBT in this audience? Do you see any LGBT standing with Al here? I don't see one LGBT, at least not outward.
And said that they will not back off DEI. On last Monday, Martin Luther King holiday, I announced that for 90 days we're going to research the company that we find that has made the most affront. We will call a boycott. But today we are calling a buy-in. I have bought 100 people $25 gift certificates. We're going shopping at Costco because.
Did you hear that? He bought 100 people, and he had to give them money to go shop. That's why they ain't buy shit. You gotta buy that shit in bulk. One thing might be $20 in Costco. And he had to give them the money just to come shop. He's showing how weak their dollar is. This was nothing but a stunt. Because again, if he had to give them $25, surely they didn't have memberships. Costco let these people walk through their store, didn't buy anything, cause a disturbance, and they walk out. And this was his tacit support for Costco. Again, these people had no money. He had to give them the money. He had to give them a ride there. These people don't like leaving shop at Costco.
They stood with us. People that stand with us, we will stand with them. People that do not stand with us, let Donald Trump stop us in 90 days from boycotting them. We will not pay to be rejected and disrespected. Thank you. Corporation.
So he's letting the jig away. He's basically saying we're about to start protesting these big companies, the ones that are getting rid of DI. I wonder is Nike getting rid of DI. But the bigger thing, what I should have titled this stream is, and I think I did title it and change, why didn't he take these blacks to black communities to shop? Clearly, they practice DEI. He could have took them in the neighborhood and let them support some of the small businesses, or even promoted small businesses foundation. Creating more small businesses. But he went to the biggest of the biggest retailers. Remember, we talked about Costco the other day. It's one of the companies that Charlie Munger invests in. The protege of Warren Buffett. And he says it's a company that cannot fail. And Al Sharpton showed his support for these big, large companies. And on one hand, he hates these big companies. But on the other hand, they make him rich. So he takes his clientele there, the people, these paid protesters. Clearly they're paid because he just admitted that, let's hear it again, that he gave them $25 to protest. For Instagram, you can't rewind this Instagram. Let's see, this is Al.
Corporations came forward and said, we're going to do diversity. We're going to do this because race needs to be dealt with. And for Donald Trump to be able to cancel a...
He said race needs to be dealt with. Wasn't race dealt with affirmative action? And by and large, most people, and even Sharon Bracey admitted that affirmative action by and large benefited white women. And so when I was on Sharon Bracey's panel, I said, well, doesn't DEI more or less benefit the LGBTs? Because the blacks were already covered by civil rights and affirmative action. And he did not want to admit that, but I think that is really what the whole DEI is about. It's about the LGBT, or more or less the T community. And the blacks are being just dragged along with this. And here's Al talking about his comrades, his allies in the LGBT movement. But he initially mentions race here.
Commitment they made is an outright affront to the black community, brown community, LGBTQ. why we will stand with those that stand with us. Costco immediately stepped out and said that they will not back off DEI. On last Monday, Martin Luther King holiday.
Is that a win for Al Sharpton's, the group that follows Al Sharpton? All those old blacks there, do they benefit from DEI? What do they benefit? I don't know. I bet that they don't even know how they benefit for what they're marching for here.
I announced that for 90 days we're going to research the company that we find that has made the most affront. We will call a boycott. But today we are calling a buy-in. I have bought 100 people $25 gift certificates. We're going shopping.
Universal Jones said you see a big ass Christian Dior bag. Wigs and weaves galore as well.
In Costco because they stood with us.
People got a gold wig. That's like a gold wig right there.
People that stand with us, we will stand with them. People that do not stand with us, let Donald Trump stop us in 90 days from boycotting them. We will not pay to be rejected and disrespected. Thank you. Corporations came forward and said,
going back to the old tried and true methods of boycotting, but first he's gonna go spend a little money with the big businesses. He had to give them the money for them to spend it. Here's Kimberly Crenshaw. I think this is her also talking about DIE. All the blacks are kind of coalescing around DIE, and interestingly enough, it doesn't even benefit them.
Station to another made it impossible not to see the connections between the two. Coming in this morning, recognizing that those who represent the best of our values are now looking for jobs, while those who represent the worst of our nightmares are being released from prison, tells us how much devastation we're dealing with right now. And I think for some people, just like the fire seemed like the devastation came from nowhere, and they might think.
She was talking about the Proud Boys and the J6 people being released from prison there. I wish I could rewind this. Let me see. I don't think you can rewind on Instagram. But either way.
I think that what we're looking at right now came from nowhere. The conditions have been set for years. When Donald Trump refused to repudiate the Proud Boys and came back in 30 days with an executive order attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion, that was setting up the brush that now is being ignited across the country. So it's clear that we have no choice but to fight. But for some people, that
they always use these very provocative words, fight, and I know they're speaking metaphorically, fight the policy, fight the powers that be. But in my opinion, less fighting needs to be done and more working needs to be done, and not the talking about work, doing the work as they say, but really just more work.
That's going to seem a questionable idea. For the last several years, the notion that we should fight it head on has been somewhat debated. We know now that pivoting doesn't work. We know now that trying to rebrand what we do doesn't work. We know now that what they're coming after is not one form of thinking. It's not Black history. It's not intersectionality. It's not critical race theory. They're coming after the entire infrastructure that has been created from the civil rights movement. So if they have been willing to throw everything that we have accomplished to perfect this democracy onto the fire, then what is our response? What do we have to do differently? We know we have to fight collaboratively, we have to fight collectively, we have to fight creatively, but we also have to fight with an idea that we refuse to allow any of what we have created to be lost. Here's the thing that I want to leave with. It was clear that the reason that we're still fighting this is that they have never given up. The flamethrowers did not give up after the Civil War was lost. The flamethrowers did not give up after Reconstruction. They did not give up after Brown versus Board of Education. Massive resistance was the name of their resistance. What's our version of that? What are we going to do to make sure that we do not give up? So I'm so pleased to be part of this. I do understand that we cannot have a DEI practice that's not grounded in an analysis of why we need DEI in the first place, which is why they go after history, why they go after intersectionality, why they go after our frameworks. You can't fix a problem you cannot name. We at AAPF are all about trying to provide all the tools necessary so we can name where the deficits are in our institutions organizations to be better situated to address them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I think within her statement is the problem there. On one hand, you got a bunch of nonprofits that people are more or less using as businesses. They're getting rich off of these nonprofits, or at least making a living, and she's probably one of them. Maybe we should look up her organization, AAPF. And then on the other hand, you have shakedown artists like the Al Sharptons of the world, who goes to the Costco's and more or less issues a threat to them. If you disband your DEI, you're being a good boy right now. You're keeping your DEI in place. But if you get rid of your DEI, then we'll protest you. But right now, you're being a good boy. And we just brought these broke old blacks up here to your store. And these could be protesters later. And you heard him say, they're on your side for right now. You heard him say that. They're on your side for right now. And what's most interesting is, that Costco, they had black employees. No one had to force them to hire black people. Someone says my mic is low. Is my mic a little better now? I'm speaking almost directly into it. I'm not sure what the setup is here, what the issue is. Let me turn the road up. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm good. All right.
Coming in this morning, recognizing that those who represent.
And it was one of the issues that I wanted to cover Jasmine Crockett, and I think this is her here. And, again, I was on Sharon Bracy's panel, and he was talking about, diversity and equity and inclusion. And I asked him a question. I said, does education make you qualified? And he said, yeah, more or less he was saying, yeah. And so we're going to hear the qualifications of Jasmine Crockett here. And I think that so many black people have got caught up in that they're educated, and that makes them qualified. And I think it's far from the truth here. And let's listen to a very educated woman who thinks she's very qualified based on her education alone.
Okay, Ms. Crockett.
So many of you know that I practice law, but some of you don't realize that I actually was a business major out of Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. And the emphasis that I got in my business degree was on finance. And as I traveled the country campaigning this election cycle, one of the things that I talked about was this idea that in finance, we always promote this idea of diversity. If you know anything about a portfolio, the one thing that you want to do is make sure that it's as diverse as possible, because at times certain stocks will perform better than others, and they will exemplify various strengths and weaknesses. And together, a diverse portfolio is usually what any good finance person would promote. They wouldn't promote that you solely invest in vanilla wafers, believing that that is going to be the strongest portfolio, but instead they may want to add some chocolate cake and some Twinkies into the mix to make sure that we have the best portfolio, because there will be different preferences by different people.
She's trying to mix portfolio diversity with cultural and racial diversity. Yeah, I don't think that's a good analogy. With portfolio diversity, there's you may want to have correlation or lack of correlation. I forget what it's called, maybe the beta. You don't want that with race. And with race, with culture, you want unity. You don't want one going in the other direction and the other one counterbalancing it going in the opposite direction. You want everyone kind of rowing in the same boat. So I don't know if you necessarily want cultural and racial diversity to the extreme that she's arguing for it here.
People, and again, there will be different strengths. But as I sit here and I think about what we say and what I'm hearing as it relates to diversity when it comes to anything outside of making money, and to be clear, we are losing GDP every time we try to push back on this idea of diversity, because all of us bring something different to the table. But you consistently said over and over the word oppression, and every time that you said it, it was almost as if I was hearing nails on a chalkboard, because it seems like you don't understand the definition of oppression. And I'd ask you to just refer to Google to help you out. Oppression is the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. That is the definition of oppression. And so as I sit here as a black woman who practiced civil rights, let me tell you, the reason that my colleagues wanted to make sure you understood the same black history that your side of the aisle wants to delete out of classrooms is because you can then misuse words like oppression. There has been no oppression. oppression for the white man in this country. You tell me which white men were dragged out of their homes. You tell me which one of them got dragged all the way across an ocean and told that you are going to go and work. We are going to steal your wives. We are going to rape your wives. That didn't happen. That is oppression. We didn't ask to be here. We're not the same migrants that y'all constantly come up against. We didn't run away from home.
I thought the blacks and the migrants were all together. There's one big happy family here. She's saying we're not the same.
We were stolen. So yeah, we are going to sit here and be offended when you want to sit here and act like, and don't let it escape you that it is white men on this side of the aisle telling us, people of color on this side of the aisle, that y'all are the ones being oppressed, that y'all are the ones that are being harmed. That's not the definition of oppression. You tell me the prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment that you've had, and we can have a conversation.
You could start with Exodus.
The final thing that I will say on this particular issue, two things. There is an article from The Guardian, and it is a little old. It's from 2021, so I apologize. But it said that back then, just 3 years ago, white men represent 30% of the population, but 62% of office holders. These are the issues that we are constantly looking at and recognizing and trying to say, is this just? I can't even tell you how many white men have served in this chamber, but I can tell you that I am only the 55th black woman to be elected to Congress. And so when you want to talk about history and pretend as if it was so long ago, it wasn't. Because again, I am just number 55. Finally, when we start to talk about...
At what point do they stop counting? 55, shit. That's a pretty big number. Like, at what point did it 100, 110, 200? At what point do they say, I am just the... And it doesn't, ring. It rings hollow. She's the, 55th black woman? It probably been 100 black men. I don't know what else they want.
What do these numbers do as we're trying to say that diversity, equity, and inclusion is the problem? The reality is that when it comes to financial...
I wonder how she would feel if the Hispanics start using that same argument. It ain't but 40 of us. And we deserve to have many, many more. Hell, there's 55 black women. It should be 100 of us. There's more of us than them. All of these statistics and things, that these arguments that they're making, I can see the Hispanics turning right back on them in their favor.
Financial performance. Companies with more diverse workforces are more likely to outperform their competitors. Companies in the top quartile for racial diversity are 35% more likely to outperform their peers on profitability. Companies with diverse executive teams are 25% more likely to generate greater profits. Diverse companies earn 2.5.
I mean, that all very well could be true. In some of these cases, many of these companies have such a damn monopoly where they can afford to have a DEI department. But the companies that are scraping by probably can't afford to have a DEI department. And they definitely can't afford the salaries that these DEI employees are making. And I looked up some of the salaries, fucking amazing. $300,000-$400,000 for a DEI, and it has nothing to do with the business.
5 times higher cash flow per employee. Diversity works. And until you can show me data that says otherwise, I think that we need to go back to being a country that listens to experts and gets out of our feelings and recognizes again that racism is real in this country. And until we stop pretending that it's not, we will not solve the problems that we are consistently facing. And that will bring real unity that we seek when we're looking for a more perfect union.
She said, that'll bring unity. Okay. It's so interesting, the propaganda that, I remember when unity used to be saying about it. I've mentioned it many times, Queen Latifah, UNITY, it all makes sense. But to be arguing for diversity, that just logically, it doesn't make sense. Like, no one wants a diversion or diversity. You want unity. It's just natural. And these people arguing for diversity, I don't even think they're arguing for themselves anymore. they're making an argument for other people, other interest groups, and I think they're just going along for the ride here. I've been very interested in this immigration thing. We've covered it from the Charleroi angle. Man, it's more or less low budget or low income, low wage migrants. But I was also a software developer. I've mentioned that many times, and one of the reasons why I don't do software anymore is because I didn't enjoy working with all of the foreigners. You couldn't really understand what they were saying. If you came into an environment, a lot of the code would be just spaghetti code, just no organization to it. It just wasn't something I enjoyed doing. I could easily go get a government job where probably not as many foreigners, I would suspect. But I just never wanted to work. Well, I didn't want to work for the government again. And so, I've been looking at some Twitter streams about the job market, particularly in IT, because I've seen the effects of Indians in the IT market. And so here's a Twitter stream, a Twitter feed, I guess you would call it. Here's some guy, Unfiltered Truth, and he's speaking about the job situation in the IT market. And he's making some interesting points here. So he says staffing firms and recruiters are lying to you. Americans are desperate for work. If you're an American and you had trouble finding work, please comment below. If you worry about anonymity, blah, blah, blah. And so here's this explains why 90% of candidates I'm giving are Indians. So they lied when they said it's hard to find developers. And this is me, John Gall here. So some of the comments are very interesting. I have had over a decade of experience. Mobile development is pretty good. Literally always had recruiters hitting me up weekly. You had me here. Same here for me. And to see if I'm interested in a new role, that was the case for me for 20 years. In the last 2 years, it's completely disappeared, and I had to apply for weeks to even get an interview. Man, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever applied for a job. One second. I'm sure I have applied, but I can't remember applying for a job. 20 years. It would always call me. And you can hear me responding here. Similar experience. I used to get calls every day. Now it's exclusively Indian firms calling me. And so I invited the guy to come on the stream. And, a while back, we actually called some Indian recruiting firms. And, I was doing a stream on H-1B visas, and I think it's all a scam. And the company I don't even think it existed. Here's another guy saying stuck in a dead-end job. He sent over 400 applications over the past couple months. Phone interviews, only jobs with any interest, a life insurance sales job, blah, blah, blah. Young white men, you're faced with either working for Grant Cardone or working in medical device sales. It's a joke, but not far from reality. Here's another guy. I have a small company that works in B2B. Employees are Americans. I've lost contracts with companies that move their entire ops/admin teams to India or other Asian countries. I can't compete with $15 an hour foreign labor. When I was back interviewing, probably the last 10 years or so, it was a big push on, are you able to work with offshore teams? And by and large, they meant India. And I guess in this case, they more or less moved some DevOps as well. And DevOps is probably pretty easy to move to India. Admin as well, database admin, stuff like that. That would be easy to move to India. The pendulum is swinging back. This guy says, I know a young man in his 20s who lost his job 9 months ago. He's struggling to find anything in his field. Before she received a text from him, here's the text here. Yep, before I was let go, a coworker of mine at the same level as me was promoted to be my manager. Any qualifications? Nah, but she was Indian. And my boss's boss was Asian, and my boss's boss's boss was Indian again. Fuck this whole fucking society, this young guy says. And again, this stream goes on and on for quite a while here. More of the same, just more and more people expressing frustration with the job market, primarily IT. These somewhat fairly skilled people. And I want to see if we go through a few more. And there were some jobs that were listed, even by Tesla. Former senior VP in the tech industry. Product management. Haven't found a W-2 job in 2 years. I simply stopped applying for jobs at some point during the COVID lockdowns. I submitted hundreds of applications, 11 interviews. They just don't hire my kind. And that seems to be the sentiment of a lot of these young white men. Probably not very different than the the young black man at the school shooter black guy the other day. Here's another guy. When I graduated with 2 degrees, including an engineering degree, plus familiarity with coding, chemistry, biochemistry, technician work, physics, and electrical systems, as well as character accomplishments. I guess he still couldn't find a job here. It took me 2 years to find a job. I had to go into the national lab system where H-1Bs cannot. So basically, you're seeing a lot of Americans trying to get into places where the H-1B are prohibited, primarily because they're being foreign. And that would probably be mostly in the government sector, where the government sector is going to be very... here's an interesting one here. I remember seeing this last night. And let's see. Here's a guy says he posted an entry-level software engineering job on Indeed. Got 151 responses, and in 48 hours, 33 Americans applied, which he says is a lot. But you'll see there were 98 Indians to apply for these jobs, and many of these Indians, like, I would probably guarantee, are coming from like resume farms. And there was someone else who really got down to the gist of what is going on here. Let me see if I can find that article. But basically, the person was explaining that there are like 2 different jobs posted oftentimes. And one job is a real job, and the other job is the job that they're really going to hire is for H-1Bs. Let me see if I can find that for you. Let's see. My phone rang earlier this morning. I know it's gone. And here's an interesting article here. I'll pull this up again about H-1Bs. I'm very interested in H-1Bs. I think it is like a full frontal assault on the working class man. And I am a working class man. I deal with working class people all the time. So it's a very interesting thing for me. And so it says H-1B is $1 trillion welfare system for billionaires. I do agree with that. Big corporations save about $60 billion a year. This is talking about PE ratios. It's price to earnings. So he goes on to speculate that Jeff Bezos has personally pocketed about $5 billion, Zuckerberg at least $2 billion. They're crushing American wages. Here's some charts here, and then other people are commenting here. And here's a video from Donald Trump. Let's see what he says here. He's probably talking about H-1Bs.
Jobs must be offered to American workers first. Does that make sense? Right now, widespread abuse in our immigration system is allowing American workers of all backgrounds to be replaced by workers brought in from other countries to fill the same job for sometimes less pay. And they should never, ever be used to replace Americans. No one can compete with American workers when they are given a fair and level playing field. We believe jobs...
Daniel Nixon, you said my camera's lagging? Oh, man. I don't know what's going on over here. I'm trying to work with all these technical difficulties here. I don't know. It's every day something. I need to call the technical company, blah, blah, blah. I'm working on it. I promise you, I am working on it here. I did like maybe some little renovations. Probably should have focused on the technical aspects. But fair enough. Here's another H-1B thing. Again, this is probably my pet issue here. A guy that's spent many years in software. And so here's another tweet here. And this is up my way here. Very interesting here. As this tweet comes up here. Indian posts job listing only for Indians to work tech jobs in Virginia. Many such cases. The same guy here, Unfiltered Truth. Here's a job ad on LinkedIn asking for H-1B only applicants. Americans need not apply. And here's the job on LinkedIn here. Data engineer right outside of DC, Reston, Virginia. AWS and Python, skills that any American could easily learn. 10 plus years of experience. Locals to VA and H-1B. And corp to corp. What you find interesting about this corp to corp is many of them do corp to corp. And that's how that works there. They do the corp to corp so that the people actually don't have to pay taxes. I actually work for one of these corp to corps, Indian firm. And so here's some more comments to it. Just because it says H-1B does not mean you cannot apply. Go ahead and apply. Yeah, it's true, all of that. But again, man, if they're telling you H-1B only, you're not getting that job. Like, and you know, if you don't believe that, the tip off is the C to C. Many companies don't want to do C to C, and the ones that do, they probably want you to be an H-1B, some sort of H-1B characterization here. Let's see. I recently worked on a long-term consulting project in Richmond, probably Capital One. I was shocked by the number of people from India purchasing numerous brand new, beautiful apartments and renting them out. Oh, they were becoming John Galt. That's interesting. I wonder who they were renting to. Surely not some of my customers. They wouldn't rent to my customers, would they? I was quite annoyed upon observing this as I was looking for a place to live while I worked. I could not afford to finance and purchase these apartments as an investment for myself. Yet these people from India are buying them up like crazy and renting them out in excess of $3,000. I wonder how they're doing it, and I'll explain the game to you. Years ago, I saw a video. It was set in the UK, and it was an old white lady. And she was living amongst mainly Pakistanis. Let's just say Pakistanis. And every day she was getting offers to buy her house. People wanted to buy it. And she didn't want to live there because the neighborhood had changed into an Indian neighborhood, a Pakistani neighborhood. So they were lowballing her because they knew that she wanted to leave. But once they got in there, they were going to pack the house with tenants. And they would be able to rent for like $3,000 per month. So what would not be a good deal for, say, an American would be a great deal for, say, an Indian or a foreigner. I showed you that early in the stream when we started the stream. The African that was renting the places in Brooklyn and the Bronx, I think, he was putting 30, 40 people in the cellar. You've heard people on the channel call in there. They're willing to live 2, 3 people to a room. And that is how they are able to rent these places for $3,000 a month. There's a little inside baseball from John Galt there. Now I learned they're able to do this because they are given more favorable lending rates. Oh, that's interesting. And other entitlements we as Americans do not receive. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. But these are all the things I've been saying. We talk about quite a bit here. So that's just more of the same there. And there are a couple other articles about H-1B. And so it's affecting people. And I think the Jasmine Crockett of the world who speaks of diversity, she definitely has no idea of how diversity is affecting people down on the level when it comes to affording a place to live and things like that. She's a congresswoman. And as long as she remains a congresswoman, she'll be A-OK. And, you know, I thought about this article. I saw this. This was coming out of LA Times. ASAP Rocky. He's on trial, and this guy may face some time here. I'm not sure. Well, he does face time. He may end up getting some time here. He's facing up to 24 years in prison. Kind of a similar situation to Tory Lanez. And, you know, what's interesting in this article, I'm not very interested or familiar with ASAP Rocky. I hope we can read it. But in the article, ASAP Rocky, his childhood friend, testified against him. And what he said was basically, all of us are broke, man. We living in the projects and shit. One of us killed himself. We're broke, no money. And, you know, you just look at it like, damn, like all these other foreigners, they're able to come together, figure it out, work together. And here these rappers are. You know, they just can't seem to put it together. You know, from Puffy to ASAP Rocky to the YSL guys. It's kind of all the same here. Let's see if I can figure this out, if I can find it behind the paywall. Not behind the paywall. Yeah, here it is right here. So I have it here. Again, you know, it's kind of like, you know, one guy makes it and everyone else just sits around and suffers. You know, I'm not saying it's their fault, but I guess this is one of the guys. He has tattoos on his head, so he's not going to be working anywhere anytime soon. Let me maximize the screen. ASAP Bari recently taken to his Instagram story where he shared details about being broke his whole life. His whole life. Ryan, stay tuned. I got some Baltimore for you. Broke his whole life. In the stories, he bashed his former associate ASAP Rocky, who's married to her. I guess she's a billionaire now, Rihanna, claiming that he never got sufficient acknowledgement after forming ASAP Mob. It's so crazy, man. I've been broke my whole life. I started ASAP Mob and never received a check for something I put together. And with that being said, Rocky had millions. I'm never asking for a damn thing. So with that being said, no man should ask me for shit. Cause when I was down, sad and broke, the only niggas that had my back was, I don't know, two of these niggas. I don't know who they are. The musical supergroup was founded back in 2006 by, I don't know, ASAP. All these niggas ASAP. Blah blah blah. I'm not reading all this shit. Anyway, the bigger point is that they were broke, and now this guy, Bari, I think it's Bari or Relly, whatever these motherfuckers' name, is testifying against the only one with money, and so he may bring him down, as that would be the crabs in the barrel, as they say. That they say that Bari, he's going to, or Rel, one of them, I don't know, Bari, Relly, he's now snitching, well, testifying against his buddy for shooting him in the knuckles. And ASAP Rocky's, his defense is it was a prop gun. It only shot blanks, but so we'll see. I don't know if that's an adequate defense there. Here's something else interesting coming out of the immigration thing here, and I'll bring this up for you. Let's see. Let me close this ASAP Bari. And this is a United States, I think she's a Congress member, Pramila Jayapal. I'm not sure if you ever heard of her. She's from, I don't know where she's from. And Twitter is extremely slow today. Or my computer, one of the two. But it's an interesting tweet from her. If it ever comes up. Slowly. Let me close some of this Instagram here. Instagram, I'll close that. Now, so here's a tweet from Pramila Jayapal. As an immigrant who spent 17 years on an alphabet soup of visas before getting a green card and eventually becoming a citizen, I understand how terrifying a time this is for so many. But hear this: we're in this together, and we're not giving up. The thing I thought about, 17 years on a visa before finally becoming a citizen. I mean, it says a lot about India, right? She'd rather bounce around here on a visa than be in her own country where she's free to move about and live and work and whatever. And then, but she eventually becomes a congresswoman. And now she's more or less advocating for the people that are coming here in droves, not the American citizen. And I think is the paradigm shift as we get so many of these people into Congress. This will more or less be kind of the way they will advocate. They'll be advocating for their own people here. And so it's really going to be up for Americans to kind of advocate for themselves or find better advocates for themselves. And speaking of advocates for themselves, there's no better guy than this guy here. The citizens are struggling in the cities here because the cities are not doing a very good job of advocating and providing services for them, but they are rolling out the red carpet for the migrants here. And here is a homeless encampment. Now, I've been saying this all along. I've been saying that you're going to see a lot of blacks in shanties. You've heard me say this. And is this the right stream? Did I get the right one? Let me see. Oh, let me pull it up here. Give me one second. So I've been saying that you're going to see a lot of blacks in shanties. You've heard how hard it is for them to find housing here. Damn, did I get the right one? Okay. You've heard how hard it is for them to find housing here in D.C., even on the stream. And that leads me that these people are going to end up in shanties. And here's an article coming out of Atlanta as soon as it loads here, talking about a homeless encampment. And Bernice King, I think that's the daughter of Michael Luther King. She holds moment of silence for unhoused man killed by a bulldozer in Atlanta. The incident happened in the old Fourth Ward on Old Wheat Street, which is directly across from Ebenezer's Baptist Church. For those of you familiar with the civil rights movement, you will know that I think, didn't Michael preach at Ebenezer? Is that what he preached? Yeah. And it's Michael's, is the daughter of Martin Luther King. A moment of silence was held at Ebenezer on Monday in honor of a man who was killed during an encampment cleanup across the street from the church. Now, all these churches were taking in migrants and shit, but they weren't taking in their own fellow blacks. They were living outside across the street. I want to take a moment of silence for Cornelius Taylor, who was tragically killed right across the street from Ebenezer Baptist Church by a bulldozer driven by an Atlanta Department of Works employee while he was clearing an encampment of our unsheltered brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. King said as she began her call to service. Cornelius Taylor was the man's name. The incident happened right across the street from Ebenezer Baptist Church. Who is the minister of Ebenezer Baptist Church right now? Who is the minister? Ebenezer Baptist Church. Don't tell me who I think it is. Ebenezer Baptist Church minister, Atlanta, Georgia. Don't tell me who I think it is. Anyway, we're gonna figure out who the minister is. Video footage. I wish we could see this video footage. It was captured showing a front loader weighing over 10,000 pounds were used during the cleanup. Those gathered mourned Taylor's death and called for an end to what they described as dangerous and dehumanizing practices during encampment cleanup. So they want the blacks to be able to live on the street peacefully. So why were they cleaning up this street, I wonder? Activists questioned the necessity of using heavy equipment, arguing that the city prioritized appearances over the safety and dignity of unhoused individuals, homeless. Taylor's death occurred just days before Atlanta's annual clean up. Aisle 5. Clean these homeless niggas up. We gotta celebrate Michael. If a bulldozer run one of these niggas up. Well, I wonder what they did on the Martin Luther King Day celebration down there in Atlanta. Let's see if there's any video. Clean up, aisle 5. Aisle 5. Clean this motherfucker up. Prompting calls for the city to honor King's legacy by addressing homelessness. They did by cleaning them up with compassion and action. There's only one way you're gonna be able to do this, people. It's gonna take some force. Let's see if we can get YouTube to lower it. Let's see. Let me just watch it on YouTube and see what's going on. And I want to see who the minister is of this church. Who is the minister of this church? Let me close that tab. Damn, this shit is slow today. Who is the minister of this church? Let's see. No, it ain't. No. No, it ain't. Well, the Reverend Dr. Raphael Gamaliel Warnock. Where do I know him from? Where do I know this guy from? Damn. Raphael, Honorable Reverend Dr. Raphael Gamaliel Warnock. He's the senior pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church, where the homeless Negro will run over directly across the street. From anybody know who this guy is? Anybody know who is this guy? Can someone tell me who this guy is? Wait, what is he doing right now? I know he's more than a preacher. He's got to be more than a preacher. Got to be. Who is this guy? Dane Nixon, I think you're right, man. I've been looking for a new laptop, by the way. But anyway, if you don't know who Raphael Gamaliel Warnock is, that is the minister of Ebenezer Baptist Church, where this homeless man was found dead, run over by a bulldozer. And he is a Georgia senator. What? Raphael? A Georgia senator? He's the one that beat out Herschel Walker. This nigga done ran over a homeless man. He wouldn't house him. He wouldn't house him at all. Raphael Warnock. Let's see what he has to say about the migrants. I'm sure he has some opinion about the migrants. Migrants. Raphael, what does Raphael say about the migrants? Raphael, we're talking about people's lives. Where is Raphael? I know, I'm sure he's had something to say about the migrants here. With that Lake and Riley, that was a girl that was killed, right? Georgia, UGA. Warnock. Oh, he's saying the GOP used it for cheap. Oh, that's right. She was killed by a migrant. That's right. That's right. Was she raped too? Warnock dismisses Riley act as smoke and mirrors. Let's see. Damn. Let's see if this is loading here. Maybe I need to reload this shit. All right. Let's see if it displays here. What the fuck? Maybe.
Family and friends mourning the loss of Cornelius Taylor. They say he was killed as Atlanta crews were clearing a homeless encampment on Thursday afternoon.
Now, this encampment is across from Ebenezer Baptist Church, which is set to hold a commemorative service for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday. And we do have team coverage tonight. 11 Alive's Molly Oak will have more from Mayor Andre Dickens about how the city is responding. But first, we start with Erica Murphy, who is live now from the site of two memorials being held in Taylor's honor. Erica, we know you spoke with those who knew Taylor. What are they saying tonight?
Man, you know what the memorial that they should honor this man is? Look at all that fucking trash. Does anybody see that trash? Let me maximize this shit. Does anybody see? Jeez, like, honor him by look at all that fucking trash. Look at all that fucking trash. Does anyone see all that fucking trash? Look at, they got this memorial among. Oh, that's it. These people have no shame, people. No shame. Does anyone see all? Wait a minute. God damn. Let me move this over a bit so you can see the fucking trash. Wait a minute. I do this. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. This is unbelievable. Can you guys see all that trash right there? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These people got a fucking. Can you see? Can you imagine how, man, I was on someone's stream and we talked about it on the big stream, and I was just saying, man, you just got to start somewhere, bro. Like, and the easiest thing to do is pick up the trash. Look at all this trash. These people, oh my God. Man, I'd come kick that shit over. Don't honor my family amongst all this trash, man. Just fuck it, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is, I should have known it would be buffering. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Well, one community activist told me that he knew Taylor very well and that he was a man that was very positive and just on the brink of changing his life. Today, people are gathered here today for a...
Woo, ladies and gentlemen, we're a long way from getting housing justice league. Man. Oh, man. I just look at that like, damn, would I rent to these people? Hell no. Hell no. First thing come to my mind, man. They're gonna be rocking on my toilets. Toilet's gonna be loose, just plop down. Man. Look at all that fucking trash behind these people. It's a fucking grocery cart back there. This is in downtown. This is damn near downtown Atlanta. Ebenezer Baptist Church. Warnock's church must be close to this because the damn man got ran over right here. This Warnock is preaching in a trash heap. And the blacks elected him. They didn't demand that he clean up his neighborhood before they elected him. God damn. Look at these people. God damn. Somebody ought to ask him, well, are you going to clean up the trash to honor this Cornelius? They ain't going to do it.
Second vigil, and they've already set up a memorial to honor his life.
Because this was bound to happen. this has been a powder keg ready to blow at any given moment. Anytime you have a heart to evict the homeless, the truth will come out.
Nolan English says he knew Cornelius Taylor well. He says Taylor was on the brink of changing his circumstances in life.
A phenomenal guy, very positive about life, just got a job, and he was talking about transitioning out of homelessness to self-sufficiency just 24 hours prior to his demise.
Taylor died after being injured when city crews came through this encampment Thursday on Old Wheat Street. Pastor Clara Lett also works with the unhoused and says she's seen more cities clearing away encampments like this one, but thinks more compassion is needed.
We have a responsibility, number one, biblically, to help and be there, because scriptures say the poor will be with you always.
Damn, look at this shit.
Now, just before we went live, people were chanting justice for Cornelius in Cornelius Taylor's memory. People have gathered out here, and a memorial vigil is about to start in just a few moments. They've already lit candles. Now, despite the city's efforts to clear out this encampment, people have already returned. Reporting from the Sweet Auburn neighborhood, Erica Murphy, 11 Alive News.
All right, Erica, thank you so much for giving us a ground view of that vigil. Now we want to bring in 11 Alive's Molly Oak, who is live tonight at City Hall. Molly, when people hear what happened, the biggest question that comes to mind is, how does something like this happen?
Faith, that's what we were asking this morning in our meeting, and that's the question we've been trying to get answers to all day. We did speak with the mayor, who called this incident heartbreaking. A man killed during a homeless encampment cleanup. Family and friends say that man is Cornelius Taylor.
And unfortunately, yesterday, an individual in one of our homeless encampments was struck by a vehicle and lost his life. And so we've reached out to his girlfriend and some family to be able to offer our condolences.
Wait a minute, he had a girlfriend.
And any support that we can have for them.
Atlanta police say officers were called to Old Wheat Street Northeast around noon on Thursday, saying police got a call about a person injured. The man was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Atlanta homicide detectives are now investigating. Mayor Andre Dickens says he's looking into it too.
And getting more information about how we can be safer and make sure that accidents like that don't ever happen again, where someone could lose their life by a vehicle and being hit by a vehicle.
We reached out to the Department of Public Works, asking about its policy prior to and during cleanups, the safety procedures, if any.
Ooh, look at that fucking alley right there. Jesus Christ, I rode through an alley like that the other day. Oh my goodness, this is Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen.
It's supposed to follow, and if future cleanups are paused or continuing as scheduled. It didn't answer our questions. Instead, Partners for Home, the nonprofit that coordinates the city's homelessness response, sent us a statement saying, in part, because this is an open investigation, it's unable to provide specific details, but says closing encampments comes with 90-plus days of outreach, and the first engagement with this encampment began the week of April 5th, 2024. The City of Atlanta Department of Public Works did send us a statement yesterday saying the incident involved a DPW vehicle and an unhoused individual. The statement says, in part, the department routinely clears encampments that pose health and public safety concerns, always following days of outreach to connect unsheltered individuals with housing and support services.
All right. And you know, what did the mayor say? He said, you know, I got a plan. Give me 1 second. He said, I got a plan. I figure out what to do here. You know, what we gonna do is since we can't house these blacks, right? He said, I can't house them. Shit, don't nobody want to take them in as tenants. They can't afford the extended stay. And clearly them housing justice advocates, I'm not going to rent to them. And so the mayor, he said, well, I really only have, I don't have much play here. And so we're going to see what the mayor says. He announces a moratorium on breaking up these housing encampments. So he said, look, I got to leave the blacks on the street, man. Like, shit. And nobody will take them. Right? So they're going to stay on the street. That's what it is. Let's see if we get this Negro saying he's gonna leave these blacks on the street. Leave them on the street, homeboy. I think this nigga wear wing tips. Let's see. Come on, play shit. Is it my computer or the damn? I don't know. So many damn things. What's going on here? Anyway, while we read, oh, here it is. All right.
Begin with new developments. Mayor Andre Dickens responding to community organizers for the city to stop sweeps of homeless encampments after a man died last week. He's pushing for a moratorium and city policies. Channel 2's Rogers, she's live on Auburn Avenue tonight, where she spoke to activists about the mayor's message. Aaron.
This girl is really skinny. Jeez, she's really skinny. Not bad looking, but just really skinny. I don't know what's up with this video. I may not be able to play this. What the fuck? What the fuck? Let me close some of these tabs. Yeah, close that one. Let me see if it'll play. Anyway. That's probably not gonna play. Fuck it. Anyway. Baltimore, Ryan, if Ryan is still in the chat, Ryan, I saw this coming out of Baltimore and I said, damn. Yeah, man, you know, last week I think we covered a McDonald's over there at Ricerstown Road. Is that where it was, Ricerstown Road? Where a McDonald's worker was killed. And here's another one here. Let me pull this up for you, Ryan. See if you can tell me where is this in Baltimore here. Coming to you from Instagram here. Is this another one on Ricerstown? No, this can't be the same one. Oh no, this is the same one. There's excuse me, damn, there's another one coming out of Baltimore. I saw it overnight, Ryan. That's the guy that was killed at the McDonald's in Baltimore. He was killed in front of his child, apparently, at work. And he was security guard and the son was flipping burgers, and both of them lost their life at the same damn time. I think this is the one. Is that the one I want to cover? Oh, here it is. Let's see. Give me 1 second, Ryan. The one that I want to cover coming out of Baltimore here. Give me 1 second. You know, before I get to this Baltimore, I saw someone in the chat mention Roland Martin. Have you guys been, are you familiar with Roland Martin, by the way? Roland Martin was putting on a little spectacle here the other day. Let me see if I can pull that clip up. Where is it, Roland Martin? Let me find it. Give me 1 second. I had a Roland Martin. A couple of people have even sent me something about Roland Martin. I don't know what the hell I did with it, but anyway. Roland Martin. Where is Roland Martin here? Oh, by the way, you know it's carnival time in Haiti, I guess. Haiti is carnival, right? And so the people in Haiti, although their country is in ruins, you never let a good time go to waste. And the people out of Haiti, although they're running here to America, they're finding time to party in Haiti, if you can imagine. Cap Haitian kicks off Carnival 2025 and inaugurates, I can't even pronounce this, M-O-R-N-O cap sign. I don't know what that means. But here's Haiti here. Two models hand in hand on the boulevard during the official launch of the 2025 Carnival in Haiti. They don't even have a fucking government, do they? But the party must go on, people. The party must go on. Let me max. Cap Haitians. And they're going to party just a day after the announcement that the 2025 Carnival would take place in Fort Liberty. Officials from Cap Haitians Town Hall launched their own carnival celebration. Can you imagine partying where these people don't even have a fucking government? I mean, like, the country's in ruins. Where's Virgo? And these motherfuckers party and bullshit, people. Party and bullshit, people. Like, I can't fucking believe this. It's a motivation for the private sector in the North to organize itself so that what happened in 2000, the last In 2013, the carnival was held in Cap Haitian, but all the revenue was sent to Port-au-Prince. Cap Haitian didn't get any money from the carnival stand. This year, I hope Fort Liberty gets his 30%. They're going to party in Haiti, people. They're going to party in Haiti. Amazing. I didn't even get dressed up with the damn whole country's in ruins. I mean, this ought to be enough. We need to end whatever the TPS that allowed them to come here. Hell, it looked like they happy back at home in Haiti. They partying and shit, right? It can't be that bad, right? Virgo, you in the audience? It must not be that bad in Haiti, right? Look at this shit. They look like it's nice. Why the hell do we give them TPS status? Just a little hurricane, right? Look at these people. Party, good time. Good time was had by all. Look at this. Look at these motherfuckers. Party and bullshit, people. Party and bullshit. Party and bullshit. I mean, I can't believe this. This is fucking amazing. These people are having a carnival while they fleeing to this country here. Truly freaking amazing. Who knew they were still who knew they were still having carnival? Who knew they were still having carnival considering all this? Richard, what are you trying to tell me? It's his computer, bro. It can't keep up. Oh, okay, yeah. It takes a lot. You know what? Are you behind me or what? Yeah. You know, I'm about to buy another computer. I should have pulled the trigger on it yesterday. I probably need two, for traveling around as well, so I don't have to just carry one laptop around. So what, are you behind me or what? Is that what it is? You're a little bit behind me? Tell me what it is. What's the hold up here? Are you behind me? I think it's Streamlabs probably takes a lot of my using a lot of CPU. Daewoo makes them now your trigger with oh yeah, I know what you guys talk about, but stay away from that. We've been suspended once too many times here. Better stay away from that talk. Anyway, there are some pictures coming out of Haiti, so we look at it. These people are having a wonderful time in Haiti, I tell you. So coming out of Facebook, I can't believe these people are even having a festival. I guess it's cultural. You party through the good times and bad. And here is the carnival. Yeah, let's see. Sooner or later. Maybe I have to get that computer today. And it's just some images coming out of carnival here. Let's see. There's probably music. Damn, my computer is slow today. Sheesh. Maybe I need to restart it. I haven't restarted in a while. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Let's see. Okay, I lose the screen. All right, give me 1 second. This is what it looks like. For any of you who've never been to Haiti, this is what that's what it looks like. Oh, they're having a beautiful time over there. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, we might not need to let these people come over here. They seem to be fine at home in their environment there, and we might need to keep them there. Yeah, let me see. Anyway, there's one more thing. I've been all over this immigration thing, so I probably should cover this. Ilhan Omar. I tell you, all these Congress members, like Trojan horses within our Congress here. Their heart is back at home. Oh, you're not even seeing the Ilhan Omar. Okay, damn. I thought you were seeing the Ilhan Omar. Oh, is it? Damn, did they take the tweet down? Let me pull it up again. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Good old Haiti. Good old Haiti. Where's Virgo when you need it? Where's Virgo when you need it here? Let's check this out here. And this is Ilhan Omar. And I showed you a congressman. I think the other lady's out of Michigan. But they all seem to have, a strong, strong love for home. Yet they're here. She went back, Ilhan Omar, she went back to Somalia in 2022 and said that she wishes to move back. And here's Ilhan speaking her truth, as they say.
oo Congress-ka Mareykanka ku jirto. Laakiin waxaan ahay gabar Soomaaliyeed, gabar idinku jinsi ah, gabar idinku af ah, gabar idinku diin ah, oo hadde qof iyadoo da'yar waddankeedii laga kaxeeyay weli xiise u qabto in maalin waddankeedii ay ku noolaato oo dadkeedii wax ay la wadaagto. Marka alhamdulillah waxaan rajay.
That's half the problem right there. Probably more than half the problem. We can't even understand what the hell she's saying. We can't even understand what the hell she's saying. Yeah, I think it is Streamlabs, man. If there is some kind of lag. Let me see what you're seeing, by the way. Let me look and see if I can see what you're seeing. Do I have it open? Let's see if I have it open. Let me see if I have it open. Yo, let me know what you're seeing in the chat, by the way. Let me see if I have that tab open. YouTube, anywhere. Let me see if I have that tab. Yeah, so let me know what you see in the chat. You say you can't see shit. What are you seeing? Do you see Ilhan Omar here? You should see Ilhan Omar here. Let me know if you see Ilhan Omar. And if not, but either way, that was Ilhan Omar explaining her love for Somalia and how she can't wait to go back there. And here's Roland Martin. We'll end the stream on there, and I'm going to see if I can figure out what the issue is with the RAM. Maybe I need a new computer, another computer, I should say. Here's Roland Martin, and he's doing a little jig here. And Roland Martin.
As every single you are about to see with your own eyes, every single Generation Alpha, Generation Z, Millennial, Generation X, what it looks like to live close to Jim Crow. No, I know some of y'all are saying, Roland, this ain't Jim Crow because I can go to the club with a white woman. This ain't Jim Crow because I can go out and we can go here and I can use this water fountain. I can use this bathroom and I can go here. But you need to understand, and I'm telling you right now, mark it down, 7:40 p.m. Eastern on January 23rd. A year from now, you are going to see a dramatic drop in the number of contracts that black businesses have gotten from the federal government. You are going to see a year from now a dramatic drop in the contracts that black-owned businesses will receive from corporate America and from state governments and from county governments and city governments and school districts. You are about to see an economic calamity come down in black America because too many of us sat our asses on the couch, chose not to vote because we said, well, if I don't get nothing before I vote, then I'm not going to vote. Now you are witnessing with your very eyes what happens
It's almost sad that this guy speaks like this, and if it is true that the blacks are not going to be able to get contracts because of Trump is in office, then they should be able to take their skills to the private sector. If Trump is empowering the government, he's pushing them out. He's not giving contracts to blacks. And if they are very skilled, then the private sector will welcome them with open arms. I think what Roland really knows is that a lot of these are make-work jobs. Maybe he's even arguing for the diversity component, the BIPOC nature, the immigrants and the Hispanics, and maybe even the white women who he would probably acknowledge benefit more from affirmative action and all this DEI stuff. And so it's very interesting to see, the Roland and the Al Sharptons continue to march on, arguing for more and more civil rights, for more and more groups further from probably their own people's beliefs. And in Al's case, hell, he had to pay the people to even go and show support for Costco, and they didn't even buy shit, right? It just seems like a movement that can't hold. And the other thing that you'll see is like something like this, where Roland is talking gloom and doom, and on the other hand, then you see some of these young boys. Let's say I saw a young guy the other day. It's NBA young boy. I don't even know what the fuck it is, right? NBA young boy. Some of you younger people may know of NBA young boy. And so when you look at this right here, and you say, you look at the conspicuous consumption of the blacks, and some of them are doing very well. They just may not be doing very well with the money. And here's an NBA young boy here, and you just look at the level of just frivolous spending money here. I'm not sure if we can play the sound. I can't play this sound, but he's talking about he has $8 million in jewelry. His $8 million jewelry collection there. This is NBA young boy. I don't even know if I've ever heard a song of his. But $8 million in jewelry here. NBA young boy here. Yes, look at all the jewelry. That shit is shining. Can someone explain to me why they get the big? We used to call them charms back in the day, but I guess it's a pendant or something. Why does everyone wear all of these charms or pendants or whatever he'll call it? Like, look at this. Is that Michael Jackson? Is that Michael Jackson? Yeah, damn. That being normal, no, they can't. He's saying, well, yeah, Ryan, that's exactly what he's saying. He's saying, hey, without DEI, all your government contracts are going to be gone. It's almost like a slap in the face to the people that may have gotten a good contract on their own. Speaking of that, I'm glad you mentioned that, Ryan. I have a company, let me see, that mentioned that. And, I wondered how this woman must feel. And let me see if I can pull her up. You know what? And I figured we should call her. It's only 9 o'clock on a Sunday, so she may not be open. Let me see if I can find this article I wanted to share with you. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I want to share this to you. Oh, yeah. I think this is it. Yeah, I want you guys to take a look at this. And I think we're going to call this lady. We're going to call her during the week sometime, maybe on the big show. Someone I know personally is losing a contract she's had for 3 years with Target. Republicans have turned DEI initiatives into something negative, and the Democrats have had the weakest messaging to show the positive impact of equal inclusion. So here's a woman who owns a cosmetic store called Pink Lips Cosmetics. She says, this does affect her company. I'm okay though, and I knew since April and was just waiting for this announcement to make a post. Over the last 3 years, Target taught me so much, and I am forever grateful for the lessons, mistakes, and experience. I met some amazing people and now have a ton of resources to share. With the bare minimum we were given, we hit the numbers, we met goal multiple times, and them taking this step reminds me it wasn't us, it was them all along. We can't move forward knowing we did our best. We can move forward. So this kind of confused me a little bit here. She says we met goal multiple times, and them taking this step reminds me it wasn't us, it was them all along. Was it them helping you and more or less lifting you up instead of you lifting? I don't know what she's saying here. I'm assuming she's saying that they weren't the problem, it was Target. We can move forward. Thank you all for the unwavering support shown to Pink Lips over the last 13 years. God always has the final say. Now, many of you have probably been in Target or, I think Whole Foods does it. Well, they will have like displays for black business owners, and I think that's what this lady had kind of a segment in Target for her wares, and so Target announced this rollback. The retailer went in a program focused on carrying more products. Let me see if you can see that. Carrying more products from black or minority-owned businesses. The retailer went in that program, okay? And so you see Target rolls back DEI initiatives. And so I guess this will be one of the companies that Al Sharpton will likely be protesting. They burnt down many of them in Minnesota. She was on IG talking about it. I didn't get the impression her product was removed. I could be wrong. One thing she did say was she knew that their DEI initiative was not sincere, and she knew their DEI project was not going to last long. That's very interesting, and I'm going to look her site up in a minute. She knew since April, but Trump won in November, so whose fault is that? And my phone is continuously ringing all the time. I didn't say anything about the Trump, and we're going to go to this lady's website, because I did go to her website here, and I think it was her Instagram, Pink Lips Cosmetics. Let me see if I can find it. Pink Lips. So this is a lady that says she lost her contract due to the DEI initiatives being rolled back at Target. So it'll be interesting to see if they